Okay, guys, welcome to our team meeting. I feel so honored to have Shannon on our call tonight. She is going to be covering all of the questions to do with leg placement and how to build our businesses smarter. I know it's something we've all had a bunch of questions in the prior weeks about. Before we get started, I'm just going to go over a few dates of what we're working on, what we have going on, and what's coming up. So right now we're in the middle of our Summer Strong 30-day group. We have a really great group of girls. I feel so excited about that. We're in the middle of our 7-day Shake It Off clean eating group. On the 2nd, we will have the new coach boot camp kicking off. So any of the coaches that were recently signed, we will put them in that. We have also our Sexy for Summer 30-day group that will be kicking off on Monday. And then the 14-day free clean eating group with the 14-day on demand. They'll actually get the 30-day on demand for free, but we're going to run it with a 14-day clean eating group. That is going to start on the 9th. And then, of course, the sneak peek into coaching will be on the 16th. So that's what we have going on. I know a couple of you were asking me today what you should be inviting to. I would start inviting for the free clean eating group on the 9th. If they're not interested in buying a challenge pack and going for the 30-day Sexy for Summer 30-day group we're going to do. So that's all that we have coming up. I just want to say thank you so much for being on the call with us tonight. I mean, it's just so crazy, all the amazing things that you're doing with your business. And I know that we are trying and we're pushing every day and doing our power hours. And our team is just growing so fast. So first of all, I just want to say thank you. And I'll go ahead and give it over to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me on. I don't mind at all. And I am blown away with how quickly you have moved forward and your business has moved forward. And you've got some really amazing coaches coming up on your team. So I'm hoping that this will give you some answers to your questions. I'm going kind of basic with this. And then after I go through it all, if you guys have questions or whatever, feel free to let me know. So I'm going to screen share because I'm a super visual person. I am not at all a talking person. So let me screen share with you really quick. Okay, I'm hoping you are seeing this. Are you guys seeing this?
It's still loading. I have yes, I see it now.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go just basics of coach placement, and then my top tips for coach placement, and then I'll let you ask any questions you guys have. And if you guys are watching the recording and you have questions too, just reach out to me and let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. So being super, super basic, first off, you need to know what your strong leg and your weak leg is. This is so, so, so important because if you don't know what your strong leg and your weak leg is, you don't know where to place your coaches. So I made this little chart. So basically your coach is going to be Brianna up here at the top, and you are this big star. So whichever leg of Brianna's you're on, whether you're on her left leg or your right leg, determines what your strong and weak leg are. Because as you can see here, she's your coach at the top, and down here at the very bottom on the right-hand side is your coach's personally sponsored coach. So that's a coach that Brianna added to her team, but that is going to count for your team volume. So basically what that means is on one of your legs, which is your strong leg, you're building that leg, but so is Brianna, so is Danielle, so am I, so are any coaches that are on that leg or added to that leg. Anybody on that leg is going to accumulate to your team volume. Your weak leg is your opposite leg, and that is the leg that only you are adding coaches to. So as you add coaches and they add coaches, that will accumulate volume, but no one above you is adding coaches to that leg. So Brianna's not adding coaches, I'm not adding coaches, Kelly from Hard Hitters, nobody is adding to your weak leg, but you and the coaches you sign on that leg. So why is it important to know the difference between your weak leg and your strong leg? Well, because you need to know where to place your business building coaches and where to place your discount coaches. Because in this business, it's equally important to have both in your organization, because coaches will drop all the time. And I don't want that to discourage you. It just happens. Coaches sign up and decide they're not going to drink Shakeology anymore, and then they quit. Or coaches sign up and they're going to be gung-ho, and then they're not. And it's nothing to do with you. Everybody comes to this in their own time, just like they do their own health journey. So it's always important to be signing up coaches, but understanding your strong and your weak leg gives you an idea of where to add those coaches. So this is just another example that I pulled off the internet, and this is Brooke Dorsett. She's a really high up popular coach at this point. But this kind of gives you a background of what it looks like in your Coach Online office. So if you go into your Coach Online office and go to My Business, My Downline, My Graphical Genealogy, this is what you'll see. And this is a really easy way to tell what your strong leg and your weak leg is. Because if you see on her left leg, she has Mariah, and it says no PS above Mariah's head. Okay, that right there tells me that is my strong leg, because that means that my coach or somebody else in my upline added that person, and that is where this person came from. So it's important to be able to look at this to understand it. People will go gray. That just means that they're inactive. Sometimes you'll have an X over somebody. That means that they've canceled. People who have canceled will stay under your legs for up to 3 months. So just don't stress about it. They'll just stay there. It's fine. And then as you advance in rank, people change colors to emerald and ruby and diamond and whatnot. But this kind of gives you an idea of what it'll look like when you look at it in your back office, so that you can tell what your strong leg and your weak leg are. And then this, I know everybody knows how to hit emerald, ruby, and diamond. We go over this in the New Coach Bootcamp, but I wanted to bring it up here because it is really important, because when you're placing your coaches, you want to have equal amounts of coaches on each leg. Because as you're building, and even beyond diamond up into the star diamond ranks, you have to keep it even on each side to advance in rank. So if you have 8 coaches and 3 emeralds on one side and none on the other, you still are not going to be a diamond coach, because you need to have 1 emerald on each side. So it's important to recognize what you need to do in order to grow your business, so that you know how best to place your coaches. One of the things that I always recommend is your first 2 business building coaches, place them on opposite legs, and then start building your weak leg until you need to build your strong leg to hit diamond, star diamond, and above. So I'll go into that a little bit more on the next page with my top tips for everything. So last slide. First off, top tips, you need to identify your your strong leg and your weak leg right now. You need to know what it is before you add any more coaches, if you've added coaches already. Your first business builder needs to go on your weak leg. And I would say at this point, every coach, whether they are a business builder or whether they are a straight discount coach, needs to go on your weak leg until you have 4 coaches, or at least 4 coaches on your weak leg. Once you have your second person who says, yeah, I'm totally going to run this, put them on your strong leg. But other than that, put people on your weak leg, because you're going to hit emerald fast by signing up 2 coaches, which is great. But then you're going to start banking on those team cycle bonuses, which is a big part of getting to emerald. A bunch of people will get to emerald, and they'll get to ruby, and they'll get to diamond, and they'll realize, I'm not making that much more. I'm not maximizing on my team cycle bonuses. And that's because you've built your business in a way that you're pretty much even, and you're not getting a whole lot of volume on your weak leg, and you're banking all of this volume on your strong leg. Now, the nice thing is as an emerald or above coach, that strong leg volume is never going to go away. So it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. But nobody wants to have 50,000 volume just sitting there that you're not collecting on. So putting more coaches on your weak leg than on your strong leg is a really great way to start maximizing on those team cycle bonuses and using as much volume as possible. The other thing, you can set preferred placement, and I recommend you do this right away. It's in your Coach Online office under the My Business tab, and it says My Preferred Placement. Before I signed my very first coach, I looked at that because I wanted my first coach to go on my weak leg. So I signed that person up. I switched it from my left leg to my right leg, and I hit save. I signed up the coach. The coach signed up. Great. Then I went back into my preferred placement and switched it to the opposite leg so that my next coach would go on my strong leg and I would hit emerald. And then I went back in and I switched it once that coach signed up back to my weak leg so that I could continue growing there. So setting your preferred placement is something I recommend you do before you sign each and every coach to make sure that they're going on the leg that you want them to go on. Signing up your spouse. I know that a lot of people say, okay, right away, just sign up your spouse and then sign up your friend or your mom or whatever, and then your emerald, bam. Okay, there's good and bad about this. First off, signing up your spouse means that you are going to be purchasing another challenge pack because you want your spouse to be active. I don't know about you, I could not afford to do that. So for me, that was very, very overwhelming to sign up my spouse. He wanted to drink Shakeology daily, so I did it. He was my second coach that I signed up. And I knew that I was just going to have to cover my costs with that. But if your spouse is not going to want to drink Shakeology daily, don't sign them up yet. Wait until you can afford to have 2 Shakeology shipments coming in. It's great to sign them up as soon as possible because down the road, when you're growing your business and you get into the star diamonds, you can grow your spouse into one of the diamonds that you need to maybe hit that 2-star bonus or that 5-star bonus. So it is good to have your spouse on one leg. It's even better if you're going to get your spouse to drink Shakeology, but don't do it right away unless you know they are going to drink it and you can cover the costs of that, because it doesn't make sense to sign them up and then just have them go inactive right away. Another thing with your spouse is you want to sign them up on your weak leg. The reason being is because eventually you will build your spouse's account if you sign them, and you want to build on your weak leg because that's the leg that you alone are building on. You don't want to have them on your strong leg because you're already going to get volume from your upline on that leg. So when you're building another account, you want to put that on your weak leg. As you get farther and farther along, you'll open second CBCs, and I'm not going to go into that right now because it is kind of complicated and it can be a call for another time. But those are things that you can open on your weak leg to build that volume up. The other thing you want to pay attention to is your volume as your team grows. So on the very first page in your Coach Online office, if you look at the left-hand side, you're going to see your team volume, and you'll see your right leg and your left leg volume. This is another easy indicator of what your weak leg and your strong leg are, because your weak and strong legs can flip-flop. Your weak leg and your strong leg is based solely off of volume. That's it. Now, generally, the coach or the leg that your coach is adding coaches to and your upline is adding coaches to is your strong leg, and it'll probably stay that way. But it can flip-flop. So let's say, for example, my account right now has completely flip-flopped because I added my second CBC to my weak leg. I built that up to diamond, and then I had all these crazy business builders on my weak leg, and it's become even and kind of flip-flops back and forth as I cycle through my team cycle bonuses. So you do want to pay attention to that as your team grows so that you can see, like, okay, if I've got 1,000 volume on this leg and I've got 900 volume on another leg, okay, I know which side I want to add my next coach to. So definitely pay attention to that as your team grows. And then last little tidbit I wanted to add is if you do sign a coach and you realize, crud, I signed them on the wrong leg. I wanted that person on my weak leg because I knew they were going to be a business builder and I accidentally didn't remember to switch my preferred placement. You have 3 days to switch that. So from the moment a coach signs up, you have 3 days, and that is it. They will not extend this, but you've got 3 days where you can send an email to Coach Relations, and they will flip your coach to the opposite leg. Once that 3 days is passed, that coach is there forever. They are not going to switch. So that's something else that you really need to pay attention to as you're signing coaches. They're on the right leg for you. So I hope that answers some of your questions. Whatever other questions you guys have, just let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. It's so helpful. So I just want to make sure that we all understand. So we're building our weakest leg as much as we can right away and putting all of our business builders on the opposite stronger leg. But if it does flip-flop, like you said, and we notice, like, for some reason the weak leg is happens to start producing a lot of volume, and then the strong leg isn't quite up there, we should sign the next one on the stronger leg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. And what I told people is if you have a business builder who is rocking it on your strong leg, and you have, I would say, get like 5 to 6 coaches on your strong leg so that you're padded for diamond. Keep adding coaches to your weak leg. It's okay to have 6 coaches on your strong leg and 15 coaches on your weak leg because you want to maximize that team cycle bonus. You don't have to keep it exactly even as you go. Down the road, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of background, but once you get up into the star diamonds, you just need to have, I think it's 10 or 20 coaches. I think it's 20 once you get to 15 star. But it's 10 or 20 coaches on each leg, and that's it forever. You never have to sign more than that on your legs. So if you've got business builders on your legs, you don't have to so much worry about padding it with more and more discount coaches until you've got like 1 million coaches on one side. Focus on your weak leg volume and growing that so that you maximize your team cycle bonuses because that is how your income is going to grow.
Okay, I think that's very helpful because I know like some of us, we were just unsure exactly how to maximize our team cycle bonuses and build our business that way. Because I know some months we've, had it where we've lost it because we had so much on one side and not the other. So.
Yeah, and the nice thing is as long as you keep your emerald or above rank, you will always keep that volume. So it's not like it goes away if you don't use it. You bank it, and it goes into what they call carryover volume. So it's going to carry over into the following weeks as long as you keep emerald. If you drop emerald, you lose all your volume, which is a reason why if you've held emerald for a little while, it's so important to keep it because otherwise you're going to lose all of this volume that you've banked off of your strong leg, and you're going to start from zero again, and that kind of stinks. So
yeah, that definitely does.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Carol, do you have any questions?
I don't think so, not right now. I think if I see the visual, maybe I will, and maybe when I just get a little bit more familiar, I'll have questions, but not right now. That was good.
Awesome. And I will say too, the other thing that I do all the time and what you guys should get in the habit of doing as well, I check my downline daily. And even now with all the coaches under me, I check my downline, I check my downlines. I look into everything and I like to see what's going on. If people are going to be going inactive, if people are going to be dropping as coaches, because that gives me an idea of where I need to start padding my leg too. So for example, right now I'm adding to my strong leg, only my strong leg, because my weak leg has gotten stronger than my strong leg. So it's one of those things where you gotta constantly be paying attention to it, but if you get in the habit of doing that on a daily basis, that's gonna really help you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I know I've started
and that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially as you find new coaches, because they aren't gonna understand everything right away. So helping them to kind of figure that out and letting them know the easiest way to find what leg you are on is your upline coach. Your upline coach knows if you're on a weak leg or a strong leg. I tell my coaches which leg is their weak and strong legs when they sign up so that they know. That's part of my getting started right call with them so that they know, okay, here's your strong leg, here's your weak leg. I know you don't understand that right now, but here's why that's important. And I just kind of let them know that so that they've got it in their head.
Okay, and that's something I'll go through and make sure that I let everybody know so that they know exactly which leg they're on and where we go from there.
Awesome.
Okay, well, thanks, guys. If you guys have any questions or comments or any questions that you need us to answer, please feel free to comment in the comment section below when I post this video. Love you guys. See you next week.
Perfect. Thank you, ladies. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.